Do you have an event coming up like a wedding, a retirement party, or maybe even a reunion? These are all things that require most likely advance notice and an invitation. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about what do you do as the parent who does not have your child during one of those major events? What do you do? How do you request from your ex that time with your child? So in your parenting plan, you should have a section for rite of passages and change of schedule or swap. Along those lines, it should be listed something like that. Now, in those sections, you are going to have an outline of what it looks like to swap time. Now, I can already hear people saying, I'm not swapping. We're sticking to the schedule. We are absolutely not veering off the schedule. It's 100% the way the court ordered it. That's what we're going to do. And I hear you. I hear you, and I hear the bitterness, and I hear the protection, and I hear the worry. I hear that. But I want you to remember a couple things. Number one, your child still loves this other parent. Your child wants to participate in as many things as possible with your ex and with you. So this is kind of one of those karma's a bitch thing. If we keep saying no to our ex, it ends up kind of biting us in the ass eventually. Now, you might be a case where there's abuse, where there's hostility, where there is a strong narcissistic ex that's trying to control you and will never, never do this back for you. I get it. I get it to the core. I understand that. But again, I'm going to ask you to do what is best for your child. If it is an abusive relationship, then obviously it's a no. It's a no. That's a no-brainer. It's a no. But if it's a situation where it's just tit for tat, we don't like each other, always rise above. Always let your child have that time to go experience, because most of these events that I mentioned that are rite of passages involve extended family being there. So it's not necessarily about your child spending time with your ex. It's about your child getting to spend time with their extended family. So I am one that really wants a swap in that instance. So if my ex has an event and requests from me, hey, I have our reunion, which he has every year. I need our daughter for this certain weekend, and it happens to be your weekend. He's going to do that following a policy that we have written in our parenting plan. Quite simply, it's a legal transaction. We have to follow the policy. So the policy would state this. Number one, he has to give me written documentation asking for the swap. So he can't just say it during an exchange. I mean, he can, but he better follow that up with an email, because I'm not his secretary and I'm not going to be logging down when he told me. So we have a lot of those conversations at exchanges, but then I always say, hey, can you send me an email about that so I can really check those dates? Now, when it comes to the email, he's going to simply say, I would like to request a swap for the July 30th weekend and let you have the weekend before or after. You let me know which is best for you. Let me know of a time that you want the time back. So he's going to written request in email, and in your policy, in your parenting plan, I want you to have a time frame that's ahead of time, meaning how much early before that reunion or wedding or whatever is he making this request? Is it 30 days? Is it 14 days? Is it 7 days? I'm a planner, so I need 30 days. I need to know 30 days ahead of time that my schedule is changing. So 30 days ahead of time, he will send me a written email, either through the email or through an app, at which point then my policy says I have to respond to him by a certain time. And why do I have to respond to him? Well, it's respectful. It's common courtesy. And we treat everything with our ex like a business transaction, like we're talking to a coworker. So I wouldn't leave my coworker on red, because that could be taken to the HR department saying that I'm not being a good team player. So I'm going to respond either a yes or a no. And in 15 years of me doing this, I have only said no once, because I did already have plans. Now, do you have to say yes every time your ex requests extra time? No. This isn't a mandatory swap. This is a request for a swap. You can say no whether you have plans or whether you're just not comfortable. Maybe you're fresh out of the divorce. Maybe it's just happened and you're already like, oh, I'm not going to start the swapping stuff right now. Like it's too early. We just got divorced. I get it. If you get denied or you deny your ex of time, I want you to just document it. And personally, I would write down why I documented or why I said no. I would document that for my own personal records. So I would remember maybe we had an event, maybe something was going on at that point in time. The other thing would be if it gets accepted, if I say, yeah, absolutely, you can have her for July 30th weekend. I'm just going to go ahead and take the weekend before. I am not going to say yes without knowing what I get in return because it's a swap. He's taking from me, so I'm taking for him. We're swapping time. That way our parenting time hasn't changed. Parenting time did not change. We're just shifting when it is. Now that will result, if you can keep up with me, in a 2 weekends in a row type of ordeal. That will end up, if he takes my weekend, the weekend before was his. Now he's taking mine. He just got 2 weekends. Well, now it goes back to me, but I've lost that weekend, right? So I have to take it back. So then I will take his following weekend. It'll result in both parents getting 2 weekends in a row. Now, I have done before in my own personal journey of co-parenting, I have done the whole route of saying, yes, I'll let you have July 30th. I'll take this long weekend over in September. I'll let you know about it. It's fine. I'll let you know when it's closer date, but I'll take that weekend way far away from the date that you're asking. The problem with that is this. If he takes my weekend of July 30th, he now has 3 weekends in a row. 3 weekends in a row. You're being nice and you gave him the time because he has a family thing. I get it. But now he has 3 weekends in a row. So a couple things. This is why in my parenting plans, I like for parents to do it right on top of each other. It's kind of like Connect 4. When you take a date, it has to touch a date either above it, below it, or around it. Okay, so like the Connect 4 rule, it's got to be connecting somewhere to the date that's being taken so that we can eliminate that 3 weekends rule. Now, I want you to also have in your parenting plans wrote that no party should have 3 weekends. No party should have 3 weekends with their kids. And if there ever is 3 weekends in a row based on a swap, a vacation, or a holiday, we are automatically going to swap that 3rd weekend for the other parent. So now it end again in one parent A having 1 weekend, 2 weekends, parent B having the 3rd and the 4th weekend. So that's how you constructively, like a business transaction, run a swap. Now, you might have a parent that says no to you 100 times. That's karma back on them, hopefully at some point. But if somebody keeps saying no to you, me personally, I wouldn't stop asking. Now, some people may say that's harassment. I believe I want to be able to show my child when they look at pictures at an event and say, well, why didn't I go to that wedding? Why didn't I go to that? What reunion did I get to go to? When they get older, I'm going to also be able to say, hey, kiddo, I tried to get you to be able to go to that, but your other parent just kept saying no. I tried to ask because I think life events are important. And if you're thinking at the beginning of this divorce, fresh into it, that it's just easier if we don't switch. It's just easier if we don't switch. The answer to that is, yeah, it is easier for you as the parents. Yeah, it's easier just to be, nah, we're just going to keep it the same. Nope, I don't want to communicate with you. Nope, I don't want to swap. Nope, I don't want to email. Nope, I don't want to talk to you. Nope. And again, in abuse cases, I get it. But when it's the case of just 2 people not liking each other, the only thing you're really doing is putting yourself ahead of your child. Your child wants to go to that wedding. Your child wants to go to that reunion. Your child wants to see their extended family. So swaps, while they're not convenient, and it is work, and you have to communicate with your ex, and you have to talk to them, it does suck. It's part of your child's journey, and you owe them that. You owe them to do the work to be able to swap. Now, I would just document how the whole conversation goes. Bonus, this is a bonus tip. With technology nowadays, I would have my own email that I only use for my ex. Not going to attach it to a work, Not going to attach it to a personal one I've had since 2007. I am going to have an email that's just for my ex, just for communications, to where nothing gets lost, nothing gets damaged, nothing gets misfiled. It's all going to be just an email just to associate with my ex for instances like this. So ask yourself, would your child want to go to this event? And should I swap? Sometimes it's an easy yes. Sometimes you have to think. And then other times it's just a hard no, because you do already have plans. And that's why the earlier, the better. Earlier, the better. Get ahead of this stuff and set a precedence for how you want to be treated. If you want your ex to say yes to you, then say yes to them. And is it going to be lopsided? I'm here to tell you, for 15 years, yes, it's going to be lopsided. It's going to be where you ask, and they barely do. One of you is going to be going to a lot of things and one of you isn't. Mental note here, no part of divorce and co-parenting is fair. No part of it's equal. Even the people doing 50-50, I'm here to tell you it's not 50-50. It's 52, it's 53, it's not 50-50. So all of this is not fair, but what it should be is giving your children the opportunity to participate in as much as they possibly can growing up. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to hear more, make sure you follow along, like and subscribe to everything I have to offer. And I also want to include that you need to be joining the support group. That's where things are really happening. That's where you get me unfiltered, 100%. So join that support group, and the link is in the bio.